Here is the truth about getting rich. You don't need to journal. You don't need to meditate. You don't have to eat avocado toast or eat ramen noodles every day either. I have never and probably will never do those things, and I still managed to become a multi-millionaire. Now, I'm not saying journaling or meditating is bad at all, but in my experience, these 5 habits we will discuss today are far more important for the regular person to hit that millionaire mark in life. Habits are one of the most important factors in being successful in life. I mean, you want to be in great shape? It's not about what gym you go to or what supplements you use or what your outfit looks like. What matters is the habit of exercising 3 to 5 times a week and cleaning up your food intake, and the habit of being consistent with both of those for a long period of time. It's actually not hard, and you can change your entire life in a very short period of time by changing your habits. Whether you're 25 or 85, very small changes can have massive impacts, especially when it comes to money. So it's not too late out there for the vast majority of you guys, so let's get started. So the first habit you need to have, and that I have been doing for decades now, is to set goals. It is amazing how many people don't actually set goals for themselves. I mean, most people's goals kind of sound like this. I want to get rich. I want to retire one day. Or maybe something like, I want to own a house one day. Unfortunately, that is not goal setting. That is actually wishful thinking. And that is why you feel like you aren't making progress towards those goals because, well, you quite honestly are never going to get there with those types of goals. Instead of saying, I want to retire one day, define it, write it down, put something very, very specific on that goal. Make it an actual tangible goal. So an actual tangible goal goes something like this. I want to retire by the time I'm 62 with $2 million in assets, no debt to my name, and $5,000 a month coming in passively each month to support my needs in retirement. That is a defined, tangible goal that can be worked towards by taking actual action to get there. Saying I want to retire one day means you're not going to take any action because there is no actual defined ending to take action towards. You're basically like rudderless out there, and when you have no direction, you will not take action. And even if you do decide to take action because you're just one of those go-getters, it's only going to leave you frustrated and upset to the point where you eventually quit because there is no target to hit and you're basically just wandering around aimlessly wondering why you aren't rich yet. Defining your goals to specifics allows you to work kind of backwards and figure out the steps you need to take today, tomorrow, next year, and so on to hit those goals. Which leads me to the second habit that you must implement if you want to become rich, and that is to have the intention to hit those goals every single day. Now, it's all great that you defined your goals down to the very specifics of what you want to have and what you want to be. Now, take the next step and have intention each day and every day move towards progress on those goals, basically by setting goals for that day. Unless you're already rich, having $2 million in assets, being debt-free, and having $5,000 coming in each month passively is going to take time to get to, so you need to have intention daily to actually get there. And that, my friend, can be an overwhelming prospect to say the least. I mean, going from 0 to 2 million in assets, no debt, and $5,000 in passive income is an absolutely massive undertaking. But I gotta ask the question, how do you eat an elephant? The answer is one bite at a time, but you have to plan each bite and then actually execute and take that bite daily. On a daily basis, I write down each task I'm going to accomplish that moves me closer to those defined goals that I set. Now, yes, the goals seem big and impossible, but I know 5 years later, I will be in a completely different situation because a bite every day makes the impossible task absolutely possible, and I'm going to see massive progress in the meantime. It could be something like, I'm going to work a side hustle, I'm going to work more overtime, maybe start a business, or whatever path you choose, so I can basically kind of divide that money up that I get on that secondary path and put some towards my debt and the rest towards my assets, which helps me take bites out of my goals and gets me much closer to achieving them. Heck, you can review your budget and see what you can come back on to accelerate the process and get your finances in order. But none of those happen in a day, but you absolutely can make progress towards those goals daily. If you have $10,000 in debt, you may not be able to pay it all off at once, right? That's a lot of money to come up with to pay it off. But you can put an extra $100, $200, maybe even $500 per paycheck towards those debts. So over the course of a couple of years, you absolutely are able to pay off that debt. But you won't take those kinds of steps if you don't treat each day with intention. So the third habit you must do to get rich is to take ownership of everything. All right, I'm sorry, but it's time to get a little bit uncomfortable here. You must take ownership with everything in your life. I mean, when you do, then you will actually be able to make changes that actually matter and get out of the bad habits that are keeping you from getting rich in the first place. If you think the stock market is rigged so you can't make money no matter what, so what's the point in investing in stocks? Well, guess what? You already lost the game before you even started, and the same exact thing gets said all the time about real estate investments and honestly with any other investment out there. Now, yes, I agree the market is rigged to go up over time. It actually is, but it's rigged for everyone who plays the game, not just a select few. If you always buy high and then sell low, take ownership of that mistake and then figure out why you do exactly that. The fact is, I'm sorry guys, Wall Street has no idea who you are, nor do they care, and they most certainly didn't control how much you looked into the investment that you're looking at. They didn't control your understanding of evaluating stocks. They didn't force you to buy high, nor did they force you to sell low. You chose every one of those choices. I can tell you right now from 20 plus years of investing in stocks, if you buy high and sell low, you are 100% of the problem. Now that doesn't mean sometimes I don't have losing investments either, because I absolutely do. But every single time when I look at those losses, it's my fault. I made the mistakes and it had nothing to do with Wall Street or anyone else. I didn't do enough due diligence. I missed some red flags. I didn't get the analysis right. I got lazy and listened to somebody else sometimes instead of investigating for myself. Every single one of those are my fault. Once you learn to own everything in your life, you suddenly have the power to make incredible things happen. Once you take ownership of that process, which by the way, you're in control of the process, whether you want to be or not, you are absolutely in control. But once you actually take control, you can make changes that change the outcomes in your investing. You decide whether you watch Netflix or the ball game instead of studying how to invest in stocks or real estate or some other investment. You decide if you take the easy road and give some money to Uncle Bob and his crazy get-rich schemes, or if you decide to start that online business or other business you always wanted to start. So even if you don't want to take ownership of anything and think everybody is against you, the reality is that you are in control of all of it and you are actively choosing to be the problem instead of the solution. So the fourth habit in order to get rich is you have to luck. Yeah, we're going to keep it clean here, guys. But the point is there is no such thing as luck in the end, and let me explain why. In my experience, luck is where opportunity meets preparation, meaning if you aren't prepared, you cannot take advantage of an opportunity, even though most opportunities everyone has access to. I get told virtually every day by someone out there that I sure was lucky to have bought Apple back in 2002, or I was lucky to have been buying property shortly after the financial crisis, or that I was lucky to have bought the lows in the stock market just last year, and having my money in those buys has doubled up or tripled up in a year later. That's just pure luck. But the reality is there was nothing lucky about any of that, as each one of us had the same exact opportunity. Unless you're really, really young, you could have bought stocks at the lows last year just like I did. And if you were an adult in 2002, just a $3,000 investment in Apple would make you a millionaire today. Heck, even if you missed that and waited, it fell even further in 2003, and $2,000, or right around $2,000, would be worth more than $1 million today. There was no luck involved in any of those situations, just a different path chosen during that time. I know a lot of millionaires out there, and I don't know a single one that, got lucky or inherited the money or won the lottery or any other thing out there that could be perceived as luck. Not one. The vast majority of millionaires in life made their own luck per se. And are you willing to do the same and make your own luck? And the final habit is to get real comfortable with failure. People are so fearful of failing that they never even try and instead give in to kind of false anecdotes like the game is rigged or rich people got lucky or some other narrative like that. But I don't know a single great person, whether it be a great entrepreneur, a great athlete, or just a, regular everyday millionaire that did not experience failure, not just once, not twice, but many times over. We've kind of built up failure as this negative thing in society, when in reality, it is a positive and actually part of every successful person's journey, regardless of what they're successful in. Nobody has the perfect idea, plan, or anything else, and failure will illuminate the flaws and problems you need to correct to get to that success point in the future, and it's going to take several iterations in order for you to get there. Now, if you quit, then you honestly learn nothing and will just call someone else who succeeds in the same exact thing lucky. But if you take ownership, figure out what you did wrong, make changes, and try again, you are now closer to success than you were in the first time. And if you continue to do that, basically try, fail, try again, fail again, but get better each time and try again, you will somehow magically become lucky to those around you because you achieved your goals while they never even tried in the first place. Get comfortable with failure if you want to be successful. Now, I agree our system is broken, and this channel is about exposing that and showing you the truth behind finance, retirement, and entrepreneurship. So make sure you subscribe if you want the truth, whether you're 25 or 65 or 85, this applies to you. So thanks for watching the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.